Hey, everybody, I'm Gary Palmer Jr., you're you. Together, we are minting coins, and we are going to be talking about a lot of things today, including the FlyFish Club, restaurant membership club, in addition to Web3, NFTs, the future of communities, including ENS, and lots of cool stuff coming. Super excited to get to the show, possibly having a couple of guests on the show, including Nina, aka Moochie. How you doing?
Doing great, thank you.
Yeah, thanks for being here. Thanks for talking in real life. It's cool seeing you on the FlyFish Discord, and cool chatting with you here.
Yeah, it's great talking with you. Can you actually see me on the screen?
I cannot.
That's strange. Okay, because I can see myself. My camera is working. We're in the show. Okay. Everyone can see you and hear you.
Yeah, I mean, I would try clicking on your settings maybe, and checking the video input. But okay. Yeah, and there's also the link that we shot you in the beginning as well.
Oh, is there a different link for my video?
No. It's the same link, but the different link, is like to help you with the settings.
Oh, I see. Instructions. Okay, I'll try to figure it out, but we don't need to hold it up.
Yeah, try clicking you got like a settings button there. You might click on the settings button and then click on your camera and see if there's like an option in there. But yeah, I hope we can get you in here soon. Yeah, for anybody new to the show, this is Minting Coins. I'm Gary Palmer Jr. .eth. This is Minting Coins. Feel free to go to the channel, subscribe. It really, really helps the channel. Follow us on Twitter, twitter.com/mintingcoins, youtube.com/mintingcoins, Gary Palmer Jr., twitter.com/Gary Palmer Jr. You can get all my information at garypalmerjr.eth, which you can access via your mobile phone or anywhere, garypalmerjr.eth.limo. So yeah, check out the website, subscribe to the Patreon. We're planning on doing some really great things. But in the meantime, we also have the Shaolin.
Yeah.
How are you doing?
Doing well. I also go by, I'm doxed, so I also go by Daryl Kwan as well.
All right, cool. Yeah, it's it. We have so many names as part of being digital citizens.
Absolutely. No worries. I don't either or. I just want to, we've met each other in real life. So I just wanted to make sure that either or I'm completely comfortable.
Okay. Well, we are live. So, so it's more than just the three of us.
No worries.
And we are simulcasting across Facebook, YouTube, Rumble, Twitter, and Twitch. So
awesome.
There's a lot out there. Yeah, Kevin, good evening from where you're at, which is Lakeland, Florida. Hope you're safe out there with all the crazy weather and everything and the happening. Yeah, like this video, subscribe, like this video, definitely comment, and love to see the comments, love engaging with everybody out there. But yeah, there's a lot to talk about, and Moochie, Shaolin, since those are your display names. Yeah, so Shaolin, I met you at VCon just this past year. What could it have been, like 6 months or so?
Yeah, it was a little while ago, but not too long ago. It feels like a fresh memory, given how a wonderful experience to actually meet people in real life, not just talking through virtual streams or Twitter Spaces or Discord. So 100%. No, it wasn't that long ago, but it was very memorable. Met you and your wife, and it was a really great experience.
Yeah, we met at VCon. We also met up at the FlyFish food event, the event and with all the food and the festivities, which was right there in the same city. So that was really cool. It's always really cool meeting real people in real life from these clubs.
Yeah, it's one of the unique things, right? We definitely met people all, from all over the world, let alone meeting in Minneapolis of all places. But yeah, no, it was pretty great because I've been part of FlyFish Club since the beginning. It actually happened to mint on my birthday, so it was just kind of one of those things. I was like, well, this is one of those gifts to myself.
Yeah. Well, now people can reverse engineer when your birthday is.
Right. I just won't tell them how old I am.
Yeah. Well, yeah. You're like 1 year old or 2 years old. How old is FlyFish? When did it launch? Was it just a year ago, or it was just a year ago?
Oh, a little under a year. Yeah, okay. So officially, they had 2 launches, right? They had one on the Insiders, as in hospitality like normally does, right? It definitely was able to mint in December. I wasn't part of that just because I wasn't on Inside Tracking. So I believe the reason behind that was they wanted to reward people who they've been part of the space, who helped invest, who helped shape the concept. And I believe it was just a small few. And they were able to mint, I believe, in December, early December, mid-December. And then they had their official public launch in early part of January.
Yeah. I remember hearing about FlyFish in the news. I was reading about it. Maybe I saw Gary share a link. And so I was following the project. And and then I realized I didn't get in that first mint. And then the actual mint came, and it minted so quickly. I unfortunately wasn't able to get on that. But then we did purchase on secondary. What about you, Muchi? When did you get involved?
So can you
or do you prefer Muchi?
I figured Nina, because we're talking in real life. Mochi is my persona for when I'm actually in the Web3 world. So I think I got at least my photograph up here. Do you see that?
I don't see it yet.
You don't have anything? Okay, well, it's fine.
I'm sorry about that. Yeah.
That's all right. So let's see. Is the question FlyFish Club or getting into NFTs in general?
Right now getting into FlyFish. Did you
okay. So FlyFish, I learned about FlyFish probably about 3 months ago. And it was just by chance because I hang out with a bunch of other Web3 people. We just found each other across projects and we share information. And it wasn't even sharing information about FlyFish. Somebody was talking about meeting up in New York City and mentioned FlyFish and then corrected themselves and said, oh, it's not available yet. So that's when I decided, well, okay, what is this? Started to dig into it, and just like anything else, fell into it because, did my research and realized there's really something to this and something I hadn't seen before. So, this is a real business. This is, an IRL business that's leveraging the blockchain, and that's very interesting to me.
Yeah. Really interesting to me too, and not only is it doing all those things, but it also has excellent leadership and excellent operators who are running the show and getting that done. I'm super excited about the jobs that Gary, David, Josh, and Connor are doing. Leading the FlyFish Club and a lot of the stuff that we can kind of talk about.
Yeah, agreed. But, that was a big part of it too. That, and so it was the leadership, it was the business model, it was also the community too. So before I jumped in, I, not with all projects. Some projects Discord isn't even important to me, but in this case, I wanted to make sure because a big part of the success of this is who's participating and who's really on board for it. And the way this is built, it's, from what I can tell, it's built kind of under the radar. Like it's not a secret, but there's not, a big pump of information. It's not trying to, get everybody's attention. And so with that, I think it's built organically. It's built in a way that, we've got a really strong community. And I enjoyed seeing the communications. And then that was what sold me on it, was, okay, this is a good crew.
The crew is really good. And the people that directly, sort of help with the project. and then just all the people who are members and a part of the project. It's been really, really cool connecting with people online. It's been really, really cool connecting with people in real life at these IRL events. And it's also been really, really cool connecting with people with these other digital events that the FlyFish Club has been having, like the cooking events and the wine events, which Unfolded Life, my wife and partner and I, that we've been participating in. Have you guys been to a lot of those digital events?
If you don't mind me interjecting first, yes, 100%. I try to attend as many as I can. I think for me, the real value, in addition to the membership and the community, is definitely these digital events and real life events. Because for me, I used to do, before the pandemic, a lot of the James Beard and Michelin rated, like, kind of sponsored events, and I could actually travel around the country and go to these things. And so it was one of the things that made perfect sense to me to be part of something that did that, but with a specific niche group. And again, utilize the blockchain to kind of wrap it all together. And it really kind of separated for me what I wanted to do, because I would meet differently random people at these events and sometimes the same, but it was one of the things that I wanted to connect on a deeper level. And I think the love for Web3, the love in this instance for me, being part of the Gary V fan base and follower, and just love his vibe and feel in terms of both entrepreneurship and just marketing, kind of just helped me tie into people, because it's kind of self-selecting, if that makes sense, right? Like when you go to these things and you have these kind of similar foundations, it just connected with me, and it hit me at a deeper level. So to be able to do that virtually as well as in real life was so much fun too, just because there's so much different personalities within the group, right? Within the leadership, right? Whether it's like Chef Connor, Chef Capon, like they're different in themselves. And obviously you have Roddy and Gary, and it's just like, wow, this is insane. And to everyone who wonders, like, the real value too is like these wine events with Gary, to actually be able to talk to him, to engage with him for an hour to hour and a half is pretty cool, because usually you don't get that dedicated time. Usually it's kind of like you get maybe a couple of minutes at best, and then you kind of have to move on just because there's other people in the mix. And to be part of that from the FlyFish Club and the wine tasting has probably been the most fun that I've actually was able to share with others, including my wife and friends. So that was probably the pillar in terms of the digital or virtual events.
Yeah, I agree. My first introduction when I joined was, getting set up for the wine event. So it was exciting to order the wine, have it come in, check out what the wine picks were. And I did the same thing, Shaylin. Is it Shaylin? I want to make sure I'm pronouncing it correctly.
It's okay.
Shaolin.
No,
Shaolin, and I'm Mochi. And
Pleasure.
so, and then I invited friends, same idea. And, that felt really good. Like it created an experience for a Monday night that would have been any other Monday night. But instead it was a memory that I could share with my family and with my friends. And, it's something so unique, something that, otherwise wouldn't have been done. So, I already found the value of it. It wasn't something where I felt like, okay, I'll go into this. I understand it's going to take time before the restaurant opens. At that point, it wasn't even clear where the restaurant was yet. But I was already feeling like there's a benefit to this, because we're connecting with the whole leadership team. Gary V's passion with wine. How cool is that? To be able to share that and hear his thoughts around it. And he had his dad on. That was pretty amazing. That was the special guest.
Yeah.
And you could. It was so informal and so comfortable. I don't know how you guys felt, but you could kind of feel like what it would be if you were on with a bunch of people and you like invited your dad, like it's no holds bar. It's anything goes. Stories are being told, and it was really nice. It was very it was very open.
That's awesome. It's a great story. Yeah, it's nice when you have a sort of a reason to bring people together and drink wine and and then to create those memories. So you can make a Monday that's not just like every other Monday, right? I mean, we only get 52 Mondays a year.
True.
And usually we joke about not really looking forward to Mondays. So that was nice too. Like, it was awesome. I was so excited that it was Monday. So it was a good day to pick.
I will say the other added benefit too, though, is that you get this wine curated for you and you get a discount. So
that's
it was
right.
kind of a win-win.
That's a 50% discount. I was so happy.
Yeah, and he picked some premium stuff too, especially on the back end, whether it's a really nice white or usually it's like a really nice aged like cab, or depending on what part of the world. But yeah, no, there's always really good selection. Yeah. And Gary can speak to all of them, which is fun because most people always forget that that's where he started.
Yeah, and you know what I didn't realize until after I ordered, and then somebody called me from the wine shop. That's his family's wine shop. Like, I didn't know that. You guys probably knew it right off the bat. I didn't know that. So that made it even more special that it's part of his history. It's supporting that business that's important to him. And, there were some obscure questions that were asked that, and right, like immediately he was able to speak to it. And, like I had a wine connoisseur sitting next to me and I looked over at her like, can you answer that? She was like, I don't know, but he knew.
Yeah, well, I mean, he does know his wine. People that know Gary V knows that Gary V knows his wine, and he's gonna show up. He's gonna have an answer. If he doesn't know the answer, he's gonna say he doesn't have the answer. But yeah, I mean, a long time. I mean, over 10 years, he ran that wine shop and that liquor store with his family. I mean, it was a long time. I mean, just like hundreds and hundreds of videos, right? Just like, think about that. If you make a YouTube video every day about wine, that's 300. I mean, it's just a lot of videos. It's a lot of learning that you're forcing yourself to do to learn and teach people. Yeah. No. So he knows his stuff about wine. And I mean, he's run and released a couple of different beverage businesses, and just stemming off his business and then moving this into FlyFish. He has the chefs, and the chefs know the wine too. But then there's Gary and what Gary brings into his understanding of the wine, and then there's also probably the supply chain, right? Because it's with wine, it can be very difficult. Like wine is sort of it's a limited object, right? Like wine is not unlimited. Like bad wine might seem like it's unlimited, but right, good wine, there's only so much good wine available, right, per year. And it's about the supply chain. It's about the supply chain of identifying who is producing that wine and what is the quality of that wine, and then getting that wine at the right price point from the vineyard to a distributor, if there is one, through whoever and onto the table. And
so Gary, it sounds like you've been in the business too.
No. I know how the business works, just because I'm into logistics, I'm into business, I'm into marketing and technology. So so I know the supply chain, and I know I know a lot about a lot.
Yeah, for sure. So, Gary being one of them, that there's a trust factor there because he's known, established, and then also looking into the rest of the leadership. I can tell you that each member of the leadership team has an incredible history, strength. I listened to some of they did have a few YouTube. And that was excellent for me to watch because I really got a good understanding of, what the purpose is, what their passion is, and then also looking into their history. Chef, is it Capon? I want to make sure I'm pronouncing that right.
Capon?
Capon.
Yeah.
Okay. Really, that was something else that for me, there was almost this personal, like I can make this connection because back earlier in his career, he had worked for Park Avenue Cafe, and early in my career, they were one of my clients. And so I had this inside sort of understanding, even at that time, that a lot of good chefs come through Park Avenue Cafe. David Burke came through there. He worked with him. Like that was earlier in his career, and he accomplished a lot since. But for me personally, that felt like that's another connection where I have a trust there. This just being an incredibly powerhouse team.
Yeah, they just I only know what I've seen in real life, and I know what I've seen, through the Discords and the digital channels. And I've seen excellent communication. I've seen excellent execution.
Yeah, right.
And I mean, the food, let's focus on the prize here. The food at these events is amazing.
Yes.
It's some of the best food I've ever had. I mean, I don't know I'm sure you guys are going to agree.
Well, that sea bass on a stick, I'm still thinking about it. That was delicious. That was my favorite.
Yeah, I didn't get to the most recent one, but yeah, the events that I've been to, the food's always outstanding. Even it was kind of like a surprise guest. I went to the Jets game 2 weeks ago, or was it last Sunday, and Chef Capon was there, and he was making different kinds of burgers, both chicken and beef, and then some sausage.
Oh, nice.
And I was just like, he had elevated, your standard tailgate food. I was like, yep, this is pretty much what I expected based off of the other things I've been to. And the fun part is he's just passionate all around. So with anyone, you get a feel for not just the food itself, but the culture that comes with. So, when you have someone who loves food as much as he does, as well as Chef Connor, it's kind of like, oh yeah, they bring the food to life for sure. And their personality like appears in the food that they make. It's definitely an experience.
Let me ask you something, since you were there, right? Like I saw that they were at the US Open also. And I was wondering, because that's marketing too, right? Like to be there, to be in front of people, it's great to be able to report back to all of us in Web3 world, but it's also the in real life experience too. So was there any direct marketing about FlyFish, or was it separate?
So from my experiences, it's actually pretty like under the table. So there's two things.
Mm-hmm.
One, they definitely do network. They definitely chat and talk with others. So I think in that in itself is the networking and the marketing. When you talk to different individuals, you can definitely see them interacting with anyone that was like at the tables getting food, to people wanting to actually ask them questions. Because Chef also like has a pretty good following on Instagram as well as YouTube. So I don't know if people recognize him from that as well. But the fun thing is that they've been very stealthy about this. And I think the difficulty about this space has always been, right, they refer to like these like pump and dumps, or like these shilling parts of it. And so the difficulty with that is that because it's attached to an NFT and it's a commodity, and there's like, finances involved, there's a little bit of volatility. And I believe some of that happened early on that really did drive the volume, if you don't mind me kind of moving to that part of the conversation. Yeah. And so, since they saw those things, and I know Gary for a while was also promoting, different NFTs and different collections, he's definitely held back a bit. And so, outside the networking, one of the things that's very clear is that everything that they wear is FlyFish. So like, Gary may not say, hey, go to FlyFish or go buy this NFT, but he's always usually wearing a hat or the hoodie or a shirt, like he's always in his videos. FlyFish is very consistently, very prominent. And I think that is the type of marketing, right? Because it's a branding thing, right? It's a question like, oh, what is this? Without having, and then doing your own research, it allows individuals to really help shape their own thoughts in mind versus having that FOMO, that hype that's normally associated with NFT projects.
Right. You also have the imagery too, so that when it becomes established, somehow you already know what it is. Visually, you've seen that FlyFish before, so it's introducing that visual early on and in many different channels. So not even anything that's remotely related to it, but you see it there. So, those are the things that really convinced me about this project too. I also love the fact that, it's a restaurant business. A restaurant business it's a tough business, right? And the good news is that the leadership has a lot of great experience and success in this business, but also understanding that it's a very narrow margin business. So the concept here, and this is where, I think all of us are getting an education as we participate in building what Web3 can be. And in this case, this is a really good use case of how can it truly be leveraged in order to improve a traditional business model, and that's restaurants, right? So how can we find another revenue?
Yeah, go on.
Go ahead.
No, please finish. Please finish.
Yeah, so by having that additional revenue channel, so the understanding, and if there's anybody who's, I don't know if there's other people who are listening or not, I can't see. I don't know if there's people who maybe aren't familiar with it. So I don't know if it's a good idea for us to step back and maybe talk about what is this? But the idea, without giving the big picture, but really more of the specifics around the fact that you have this membership that's membership, not necessarily, it's ownership, not membership, right? So the way that I equate it when I talk to my friends and they're skeptical, like, how much did you pay for it? Another NFT, and I talk about, well, let's talk about your golf club membership, right? So with your golf club membership, how much do you pay for that a year? And if you decide to cancel it, what do you get? Zero, right? You get good memories. Yeah. So in this case, this is taking it, it's because of the blockchain, Oh, and the other thing is too, with your golf club, how do you cancel it? If you decide that you don't want it anymore, how do you cancel it? You have to call somebody, you have to send some, email, you have to, and how long does it take? In this case, I'll explain it. Like, all I have to do is pick up my phone. If I want a membership, or if you want a membership, you can do it in 30 seconds. And so the idea that you now have ownership, so you have it for a lifetime, you're not paying your annual dues, right? And then from there, if you decide that I'm done, you actually have value. Whatever that value is, whether it's going to be the same, more or less, as something else, is still better than zero, which is what you get when you have a membership and you terminate that membership. So that's the one. And then the other is the fact that I love the leasing. So it's not like I now have the experience of a member as long as I own it, and then I can maybe sell it. I can actually drive revenue for myself by leasing it. So maybe I'm not going to use it for a month, so somebody else wants to be able to go. So I lease it out. And, I can start making some of the money back, maybe, for whatever I paid for it in the meantime, too. So, that's the other line.
That is a very interesting feature and benefit of the FlyFish NFT, is that it has that monthly leasing option. I actually don't see that anywhere else. Not Bored Apes, not anywhere else.
Right. And it's really because, and it's so logical, right? Like I would say with many other projects, it's sort of trying to find their footing. What does this really mean? What is the utility? This is what our roadmap is. And we believe that we'll get there by having, once the technology is there, this is where we're going to get to, and then we'll have utility and adoption. With this one, it's just really logical. It's, instead of having membership to, and I'll use the golf club again, instead of having membership to your golf club, you have ownership to your golf club. In this case, it's a restaurant. And so it's exclusivity, just like, if somebody belongs to, say, the Harvard Club. So maybe that's a better example of it, right? Like
any club, really, any club, any club. It's like, any club that has for a membership. Yeah.
Right. So that's, and the idea again is that you're moving we're moving forward. This is progress for business, right? So, and progress for individuals. So the business has another line of revenue because they're going to take a percentage of every lease and every sale, which means that they're going to be able to invest in expansion. They're going to be able to support their employees more. All of this stuff that really is important to me to see, right? And, on top of that, it's great for us because now we go from membership to ownership. That's the logical progression of how you can use the blockchain. If I wanted to end my membership now, I know what I can post my FlyFish for, and I know it's going to get scooped up immediately. I can do that before this phone call is over. I can also buy
because it's in demand.
What's that?
Because it has demand. Because it's a real community, and it has demand, and the NFT project is more than just the NFT, right? The owning the NFT. Right. Gets you access to the digital events. It gets you access to the physical events. It gets you access to this physical restaurant, and the physical restaurant still has its products. It still has its services. But in order to access those products, in order to access those services, you got to have the membership to the club in the first place. And the wild success of the project has created the runway for them to do everything that they said that they're going to do, and we can go over too some of that video stuff of the new location in a little bit.
That'd be really great.
Yeah, I think both of you guys hit the nail on the head, right? I mean, I'm originally from LA, and so membership is kind of a big deal over there, where it's whether it's your sports or your entertainment and things like that. I think what's kind about this is just the level of thoughtfulness too that is taken to this space, because we're talking about this what is it now, November, right? 11 months later, and a lot of the things that we're talking about weren't discussed. They weren't commonplace, and they actually kind of initiated this at a level where you're starting to see a lot of people do it after the fact. And so it's nice to see
they were pioneers.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, the innovation that they're doing, and doing it successfully. Right? I mean, I'm also part of other, what you want to call like food related NFTs, and it's just not the same level, and it's not to take anything away from them.
Yeah.
It's just that level of leadership and experience that helps drive that innovation, that drives that sustainability and scalability for these virtual events and in real life events. And there's been 5 in real life events, I believe, and at least 8, virtual. So they're just always driving value. And I think that's one of the things that gets missed about NFTs, is that even though today, as you know it, right, the product, the services are relatively flat, and there's roadmap, no roadmap, you can always inject value at any turn. And really just give back to the people who've invested in the NFT itself, right? So I think there's so much to it that is to be discussed, right? As well as we talk about the location.
Agreed. And when we start thinking about location, I can tell you some of my thoughts leading up to that. Is it location time? Should we talk location?
Well, so I mean, we the three of us are kind of like insiders, and the three of us, we know all about this. Let's step back a couple of steps, or a yard, or a football field, and let's just go over real quick. Twitter.com/FlyFish Club. We have the FlyFish Club. I always do. I don't know about you guys, but I don't know. I do capital F, and I got to stop doing that. Even though the letters here FFC, but yeah, FlyFish Club. It's the world's first members-only private dining club, where the membership is purchased on the blockchain as a non-fungible token NFT. And just going over, this is at usopen.org. I was just pulling this up, and you can see that they're around here. So yeah, FlyFish at the Oyster Bar. So getting highlighted. You know what I mean? The food and the chefs, they're around here somewhere up top.
So I think one of the backstories is a reason why this was so spectacular for them, and why they want to be part of the event. I think it actually happened. This conversation of the concept was discussed at the US Open. I think there's some kind of backstory to that, or something similar.
Cool. It's the right audience. it's the right audience, and it's good for them to have the eyeballs and all that stuff and the press. Yeah, the world's first NFT restaurant NFT, members only, private dining club, where the membership is purchased on the blockchain, owned by the token holder to gain access to the restaurant, various culinary, cultural, social experiences. What do you guys think? Should I play this video?
Would love it. That'd be great.
Absolutely. Thanks.
FlyFish Club is the world's first members-only private dining experience where membership is purchased on the blockchain and owned by the token holder.
A premier dining destination in New York City that will only be accessible through an NFT token.
We will be the first NFT-only members club.
What kind of compelled me to jump all in and really become part of a restaurant group instead of a passive.
There we go. All right. So I actually got to check to make sure that everybody could hear that. But yeah, so that was cool. And I missed it, but I thought I saw.
restaurant.
Yeah, look, we got the layout schematic there. Yeah, some little bit of alpha. Let's see, trying to get Nina back in the room, but device is not connected. Okay, so what else we got here? So great pictures, exclusive dining. FCC members will have access to that unlimited access to the private dining room. It will span across the 11,000 plus square feet in the iconic Lower East Side neighborhood of Manhattan. And this space is going to consist of the bustling cocktail lounge, upscale restaurant, intimate sake room, and outdoor space. Yeah, this is where the pre-sale, the public lunch, the reserve. So what do we have? So we have, so there's 3,000 tokens total. Is that right?
Yeah.
I believe so, but I believe they also
Yeah.
holding back some as well.
Yeah.
No, that counts them. That counts them. They're holding back 1534.
Yes, okay. I just
which is 1,450 FlyFish and then 84 omakase.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so there's a total of 2,650 FlyFish, and then there's 385, right? So there's fewer omakase tokens than there are gift goats, right? V1 VFriend gift goats. There's like fewer, like when you think about how few that is, right? Like there's 10,000 in a PFP collection. This is 3,000, and out of the 3,000 in this collection, there's basically 385 rares, and only 385 of these NFTs that get access to the omakase room. You know, it really seems like a limited amount. Do you guys know? Is this locked? Is this really locked?
Yeah, that's locked.
Yeah, from my understanding, it's locked.
Crazy.
I mean, yeah, what they're doing this is just for the New York location. Obviously, people speculate where are they going to open next and how many tokens are they going to open for the next place. But definitely, it's nice to be early for sure.
Yeah. All right. So then we have the team, the perfectly crafted team,
Mm-hmm.
which is Gary, founder and chairman, David, founder and chief executive officer, founder and chef culinary officer, CCO. That's new, CCO. That's Josh, Chef Josh Capone. And then founder and executive vice president of operations, Connor. Yeah, very cool. YouTube. Right, so this was the location announcement. I guess before we get to the location announcement, I wanted to look at the, hey, what's up, Batty B from Wisconsin? Yeah, so do you guys use Gem?
No.
You guys
I do.
use, what do you guys use, OpenSea?
Yeah, I use OpenSea. I use Gem. I've seen some of the new ones that come online like Blur as well, so it's been interesting.
Cool. Yeah, so let's see. So Gem, if you're not familiar, Gem.xyz, it was actually purchased by OpenSea.
Okay.
OpenSea purchased Gem, and there's another one called Genie, and Uniswap had purchased Genie.
All right.
For a little bit of trivia in there. And then if you use Gem, then Gem is going to show you not just the NFTs for sale on OpenSea,
Okay.
but you can, if you went to OpenSea right now, the cheapest FlyFish NFT is 3.73.
Yeah.
But
I see.
the actual cheapest is actually listed on Blur, and it's 3.4.
So Gem will aggregate it and pull in
Yep.
from other. That's incredibly cool.
Yeah, really cool. So Yeah, you get it right now. If you wanted to buy one, it is 0.33 if you go through Gem and see it on Blur and go through Blur instead of OpenSea. And then if we were to, I wonder what it looks like if we pull out the rarity, the tier, I mean. Let's only look at the omakase. And same thing is true with the omakase. If you were to purchase an OpenSea, the cheapest is 9.9.
But you can go down to 8.7. Am I reading that right?
You're reading that exactly right. Yeah, you can get it for a whole, like, well, not a whole, but like a 0.8 cheaper. Yeah. Which is, rounded up, it's a whole.
Why not?
Yeah, why not? I mean, unless you care about the art. Some people really care about the art. I fancy the one with the little wasabi on the top.
Yeah, I like that one.
Isn't that weird how that's a favorite?
It's good. It's a good looking fish.
It is a good looking fish. I mean, if the money was trivial, then what's the difference between 8.7 and 16 besides 8 Ethereum?
Yeah. No, I mean, if you're gonna look at it, if you plan to have it for a lifetime, you better feel okay with what you're looking at. So
yeah. Well, the market is clearly saying that the one with the wasabi is definitely worth more money.
Okay, interesting. I would have gone with the Ikura.
Yes. It's really good looking fish.
Yeah, right. It's one. It's a family favorite.
Yeah. So this is the floor. What is that? What is that in dollars? 4,000.
Yep.
Nope. And then the oops.
Which I'll say that from the time that I purchased, let me think, because ETH has gone down so much, so that's it's a higher ETH purchase price, but the actual value conversion is lower. So it's a nice for anybody who's feeling the opportunity right now as ETH is going down. I'm seeing it here too.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, unfortunately, with I was hoping we could get through the whole episode without bringing up FTX, but it's all we talked about the past couple of days. Yeah. But unfortunately, with what's happening with FTX and with the other concerns people are having with crypto.com and all these other exchanges, and we don't know how deep this rabbit hole goes. We could, not your keys, not your coin. It's gonna, cause a lot of fluctuations in the market, I would imagine, which creates a lot of risk if you're getting in and out. But yeah, if price does fall, like a lot of people are saying that it might, then they're also saying that NFTs will fall too. So, I mean, we don't know. Like the whole crypto market could turn around and everything could go to the moon tomorrow. But if when I think the bottom line is that most people like the agree that when the market goes down, that's when people should be thinking about building and buying.
Mm-hmm.
And then when the market is like going up, we all get excited and we don't know when the top is going to be. But when the market is going up is when we should, have more hesitation. And where the largest problem for people, the largest group of people that have a problem are the people who get involved inside the industry as the industry is going up, right? Like basically, I don't know how low we're going to go, if Bitcoin is going to hit like 10,000, if Ethereum is going to hit 500, you know what I mean? If FlyFish is going to go down from 3.4 to 3.3, but eventually the market's going to, Ethereum's going to go back to 1,500, and Ethereum is going to go back to 4,000 and 5,000, and Ethereum might hit all new, will very likely hit new all-time highs. And basically right around it where it's hitting all new time highs, it could double. You never know what it could do, but people are going to get involved then. And, it creates a messy situation for anyone who's been around knows. But if you're here now and you're listening to this conversation, then you're listening in a time of building, and you're listening in a time when the market's going down, and this is an excellent time to be learning, and this is an excellent time to be building.
Yep. And that's where, when I look at something like this, when I went in and ETH was already, on its way, it had dipped a bit, which was nice for me when I went in. And so the decisions that I make for something like this is it could go further. So am I okay with that? And if it does, then I look at it as what are the projects, and this is one of them, where I would keep my eye on and look at that as just further opportunity, because I know that this is a business and it has long-term opportunity and sustainability. So looking at it to make sure that whatever money I'm putting in isn't money that I'm going to be missing, the dollar cost averaging, making sure to budget and all of that good stuff. And then having a long-term plan of asking myself those questions. Am I okay if it dips further? And how am I going to respond to that? And then, of course, what you're saying with, this is going to happen because it's all new, right? So there's going to be some cleanup that's always going to happen. And that's where the innovation strengthens from there, right? So, and we're part of it. We're early on. I was around early on in my career in the .com days. It was very similar. A lot of people with really good ideas, and 90% of it, wasn't as successful as the other 10%, right? And we all need to be willing to do our research and make sure that we're being mindful of how we're spending our money. Let's see. So as far as the location, because I know that was a big part of what we were going to talk about. So what do you both think?
I think the location is great, but to be fair, I'm not a native New Yorker, and I believe you actually visited the location. So I think I'm more interested in hearing about it from the two of you, just because I visit Manhattan quite a bit, but it's not like home for me.
Well, let me before we do that. Have you been there, Nina?
I've been to the neighborhood, and
okay,
I have not been there since they announced to actually look at the building.
Okay, let's play the FlyFish Club location announcement video, and then we'll catch your reaction, and you can tell us about your memories of the neighborhood on the other side. If it loads, it should load. So I'm going to pause it real quick just to go over like what we're looking at. So as we're going through the rest of it, this is the building. I'm guessing this building is like sort of done. There's 3 stories that 3 floors that FlyFish is going to have. I don't know what the 3 floors are. I assume it's going to be the ground floor plus the 2, but I assume it's the first 3 floors, but I have no idea. And the doors that they just walk through, these like 2 red doors right here that they just walked through. So that was like the foyer, this green wall in the back here. It's like they walked into those red doors, this green wall, they walked through these side doors right here, and now they're in the big wide open space on the first floor. they're looking around. And so I assume that, it's definitely going to be on this floor with the name on right outside the building. And it says here, located a few blocks east of Soho in Manhattan's Lower East Side neighborhood. Again, 10x those numbers in crypto, 11,000 square feet across 3 floors of space. Again, they have 3 floors here, and it says Fish Fly in giant blue letters across Fish Fly Club, giant blue letters on the top of the first floor there outside of the building on the facade, with a logo with the red doors. When you walk in, it looks very luxurious, sort of like fancy, like you could imagine a red carpet being rolled out right in front of this door. They're going to have 3 floors. You have the ground floor. Then it looks like, unless there's like giant ceilings, a 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th floor. And then it goes on to a 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, and so on. But on that 6th floor, it does have this really nice outdoor balcony. And I'm going to be wondering, like, what are the chances, what are the possibility that could be the 3rd floor that the FlyFish Club has for like the exclusive omakase lounge? I'm just throwing out a shot in the dark. I'll finish playing the video. Again, the outside of the building with all the doors, including the big, beautiful red door, the green, the green living wall, and these giant, beautiful floor-to-ceiling windows where you can just see. It's like brightly lit, lots of floral. Lots of green plants, floor to ceiling windows. And there you have it at 141 East Houston Street. The FlyFish Club NYC will be conveniently located a few blocks east of Soho in Manhattan's Lower East Side neighborhood. 3 floors, 11,000 square feet. The building, designed by acclaimed architect Roger Ferris. FlyFish Club will span across 3 floors, 11,000 feet. See you there. There it is. Nice. So, what can you tell us about this neighborhood?
So I can tell you that in my college days, that's probably not so much in that neighborhood. So there's been a lot of expansion in the Lower East Side. But that's an area that I love. Spending time in Thompson Square, which is close by Houston Street. That's where my boyfriend actually had an apartment there. So now that's close to my heart. And so my hope when first getting into this was that it would be in a cool area, like either the Meatpacking District or the Lower East Side. So I got my wish. And it's Houston Street that it's on, and I'm going to try not to get in. I have a tendency to get into detail, so I'll try not to get into too much detail, but there's a road called the Bowery that comes straight through. It is it's east of Bowery. So it's right on that cusp. It's a really, really sweet location. And it really has something where there's an opportunity. There's already a cool vibe. It's not one of the reasons why I really was hoping it would be in an area like this is because it's not necessarily where all tourists will go. So it's not, and Midtown is great. Love Midtown for very specific reasons, but you've got a lot of, this is more like almost as if how the project itself has been marketed. It's a little bit underground. It has a little bit of an underground vibe with where it's located too. So I think it's very cool. I love the red door. I do think, I'm pretty sure I'm right about this, so somebody's going to have to fact check me. This concept of having a restaurant with ownership through NFT, I believe FlyFish is the first one to do this. I think there's fast followers or something maybe in San Francisco.
That's what it says on the website. It says.
Yeah, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's fair for me to say that. And so I look at that red door because I the way that I like to operate is, and the people I like to work with, and, the clients that tend to be, to want to work with me are, first through the door and fast followers. And so that's how I think about this business. And to see that red door to me is just like so perfect. It's iconic looking. And it really just says to me, we are first through the door.
Love it. Yeah, so sounds like it's a great neighborhood. Looks like on Google Maps, yeah, the building is here. Yeah, we're visiting virtually. So yeah, we're in New York City, baby.
Yeah.
This is July 2020 photo. So
something else that's
photo in time right here.
Something else that's important about this building. I don't know if it's still
2022. Just a July 2022 photo.
Oh, I gotcha. So something else is that this building is geared towards Web3. So it's attracted a Web3 company. I believe it's Solana. And so I think this is an article that I read a while ago. Like, I heard of this building before they announced it because I saw the announcement for Solana that they were moving into 141. So pretty sure it's the same building. This is the one.
Well, it's cool. There's going to be like a Web3 vibe to it. I mean, builders are builders, and it's good to have like a community of people who are building and
right.
that understand the similar technology and some of the goals that we're all working on, and some of them are going to have a great exclusive restaurant if they're FlyFish members. Yeah. So where are we here on the roadmap? So the roadmap starts at the top or the bottom? 2023. Nope. Yeah, starts on the top. So restaurant announcement was 2021. The pre-sale was in December 2021. Discord was launched in January this year. Still 2022, right? Oh man. The public mint was January. Was it really January?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Crazy times. It's like, geez, I could have sworn it was longer than that. So things are moving lightning speed, less than a year, and this is where the project's at.
One thing I'll say about that, though, is that on the roadmap, I believe there was an expectation that it would move faster. And I'll tell you that as a latecomer, one of the selling points for me too was that they did not move as fast as it originally anticipated. And that's because of something that was, pretty much unexpected, which is inflation, supply chain issues, labor issues, which all impacts, choosing a location, signing a location, and especially building out the location. So for me, it was important to see that, the leadership was prioritizing the timing and patient, as opposed to feeling like they needed to deliver on an initial timeline. So as far as I'm concerned, if they came back and said, this is what our timeline is, and we're going to need to wait a little bit longer, and here's why, I'm okay with it. It's more important for me that it gets started right.
And I think just to add on top of that too is you really started to see kind of the people who bought it for like the financial purposes and the people who've stuck with it too. The community is definitely organic. The people I talk to now versus when it first launched, just different, and which is fine. I think everything, especially during the bull, you just see the transition, the shift, a little bit of the antsiness, the impatience. When this, when that, right? It's just kind of part of the current ecosystem. But the nice part is they've been very consistent, right? I think that's what Gary was alluding to earlier, is that the marketing and how they've done it in terms of stealth, in terms of like conversations, everything's happening in the background. And I kind of appreciate that, because it takes a more traditional approach, which is knowing that you're going to have to be able to do these things in a way that under promises and over delivers. And I feel at these events and how these things go, like, to be fair and completely transparent, some of the things that they did do went well and some of them didn't. And they've adapted and they're adjusting. And it just, again, it goes back to the leadership of understanding how business works, how to build organically your base, as well as like help sustain it too, because a lot of people that I have started with a lot of them are still here. So I'm super excited, a little impatient, but also knowing that there's so much more to come. I kind of want to see how this unfolds, right? And I think that's kind of the storytelling too, is how will we see things, by a year from now, let alone Q1, Q2, right? Because I think everybody's kind of the expectation was Q1, Q2, but I think other people are leading to probably Q3 of next year.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, we'll probably even, this is my guess, not fact, but even before it's open for business, I can see them, carving out some of the space to have, instead of going to Tao for one of the events, having some of that open space. Who knows? Maybe they'll do that. But I think there's going to be ways. Maybe there will be a tour beforehand. There's so much that's just going to be accelerating over the next year that will fill the time. Just like what both of you were saying before, like there were 5 events. I didn't even realize that. So always something to look forward to. And then the real deal, like that's pretty incredible. So I'm going to say, I'm going to have to wrap it up here for the night. But this was wonderful. It was great to be able to have this conversation with both of you. I love the way you both think. And, the last time I had a in real life discussion with somebody who understood what FlyFish was, it was over loud music. So it was nice to be able to have a conversation and hear everybody too. And I'm looking forward to many more. So thank you for setting this up, Gary.
Yeah, it's always a pleasure.
Yeah, well, it's great to connect with old friends, and it's great to make new friends. And we can definitely, have these streams, and we can definitely get more people from the club involved for us to, talk about what's happening and just because it's a project that I am excited about, and it's a project that a lot of people are excited about. And I think it's important that we sort of create this content and create like sort of a historical, content of like what has happened, and then coming together and talking about it. So
yeah, and I think this came out of the understanding that there's, it is stealth marketing right now. And hey, how about we just start talking about it as members together? What's our experience? What are we seeing?
They could do stealth, but we could, exactly. We could do this.
Exactly. And that's how I learned about it, right? That's how, and somebody could listen to this. We're not doing hardcore marketing. It's more like, this is what's going on. And somebody might hear it and be like, that's interesting enough for me to dig in further. Or just get a better understanding of what are the different ways that businesses are innovating within Web3 in general. So hopefully that was, informative.
I agree. I love it. I love the fact that we can talk about it and also do it in a way that's conducive and introducing it to other people, helping them on board, better understand the space, right? It's not always just this relative, pyramid. It's definitely things that are being utilized today, and then just utilizing the technology and the innovation with, the blockchain and Web3 and there's just so much more to the space, and we get to be part of it, right? We're early. We'll get to see how this stuff develops. And I think that's the exciting part for all of us as well.
For sure. Awesome. Thank you both.
Yeah. Very cool. Well, thank you guys for showing up. Let's do this again sometime soon. And so we'll sign off the stream for tonight. And and just see what happens. I mean, things are going to move quickly, I think, now with the location complete. It's only a matter of time before, they start finishing up the insides and getting the furniture in and, in terms of 2023. But yeah, I'm sure there's going to be a lot more to talk about, especially with the execution that comes out of that team, let alone Gary V. And so much more happening. Real quick, Shaolin, I know you are, but Nina, are you a V1 VFriend holder?
I am not, and that's why I found out about this through another avenue. And I felt like everybody that I was asking, like, how'd you get into this? I should just start assuming that most people found it through being part of VFriends. I
mean, there is like a lot of crossover.
Yeah, it makes sense though. I mean, if I was in VFriends, I'd be in this. That would be my onboarding to this.
Well, you're in this, so maybe you'll get in VFriends.
Yeah, there you go. I need to take some time to take a look at it. Should we, this is just in maybe taking 2 more minutes. What do you think about plugging some alpha on like what we're looking at right now? If there's one project that you're eyeing, because I've got one in mind that I'm kind of excited about.
I mean,
place to do it.
Say again.
Is this not the place to do it? Because that's totally okay if it's not.
No. I mean, this stream is honestly talking about everything. We totally divert from even FlyFish. Although it's good to keep things concentrated. So if I turn these into clips later, but no, we're pivoting topics. And it's commentary. It's just chit chatting. I mean, first of all, I mean, a lot of people that know me know that the number one project that I'm really interested in is the ENS project, right? ENS names.eth, having an ENS name. And I think it's a real project with a real protocol with real NFTs that have real utility. It's not just a PFP project per se. And so that's like the big one for me, and just everything that's happening there. But then I guess off of that project, there's a couple new ENS PFP projects. If that's what you're asking about, is that what you're asking about? Kind of.
Yeah, I think anything, because that what you just said right there gives me something else to. I've seen a lot of them in wallets and understand it as sort of the almost the next level. Buying domain names for .com. But I need to dig into that more. So that's helpful to hear it from you.
Oh yes. I definitely think that everyone should get their definitely 100% financial advice. Everybody should purchase their domain name on the blockchain.
Yeah.
But this is the caveat. Before you purchase your domain name on the blockchain, you should understand privacy and how privacy works.
Yeah.
And blockchain privacy, and you should understand blockchain security. You should understand how blockchain security works. So, but I mean, your .eth name, it's your username on the blockchain. It's your payment address.
Yeah,
on the blockchain.
That's gotta happen.
It's your website name on the blockchain. It's like decentralized website, decentralized payment address. I mean, it's just like money can't be taken away from you, and your memberships, NFTs can't be taken away from you. Now your name and your address, like maybe it's like, you can't find somebody anymore, and it's like, oh, how do I get that money? Or what is their new Twitter? Their .eth can't be taken away from them, and so their .eth can have all the information about them. I can actually show you real quick.
I'll just tell you briefly. I can't remember the name of it, but probably about a year ago, I bought a Web3 domain name for Nina under something else. It wasn't ETH. It was another one that then I had to go ahead and mint it. And then I never minted it. And I can't even remember the name of it. So there you go.
Yeah, while Gary's looking that up, for me, I think it's been tough. I've been definitely looking at some more of the blue chip projects because I definitely want to encourage people to not necessarily jump into these kind of unproven projects, but I think projects that actually have real utility that are basically on sale, if not a flash sale, right? A lot of people are just exiting the space or just trying to liquidate. And there's just so many prominent projects that are active that are still working. And it kind of is nice to say, I won't name a specific project, but I just think the mentality of understanding and seeing how many people have actually spent time continuing to build regardless of the anxiety and the impatience of the space, and they're just consistent, not with just the branding and the IP, but just the community who's stuck around.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, those are the people that you want to be connected with too. This is just the natural progression, right? Like you have this influx of people, eventually they're going to go, and then you've got the builders back in again building. And this is the opportunity for those who are truly serious about it to be able to have a platform and to be able to be successful. It's so much harder, even if you've got skill, to be successful when you've got a lot of other junk and noise around you. So this is where sort of backing it up a little bit and looking at it as, use this as your opportunity to absolutely power forward, because when it gets noisy again, you're going to easily get lost in the sauce if you do not have a strong foundation. So, there's scary stuff and it feels like, wow, my wallet just really, it just really dumped and that sucks. And look, all these NFTs that I purchased and the value went down. So the focus could be there, but then you're spending a lot of energy spiraling as opposed to thinking about, and I love your approach and totally agree with it. And that's why I'd love to hear from others. What are you looking at? Because there is a lot of opportunity with those exiting where there's really good business models. And that's what, I do love the art too. So I'm going to say I'm very much into the art. I have purpose-driven projects that I get into because I feel like that's where I do want to invest my time and my money too, but then I also want to be looking at the businesses and where are the businesses that I want to get in early on. So what I will say before I jump off, and I know I said I had to go and stayed, that's not unusual for me. So the one that I'm pretty excited about because I looked at it closely today. So the Nerd Collective, I don't know if you guys heard about this, but I started hanging out a little bit in the space because I am a nerd. And so that's part of it. And so I thought that's cool. I love the fact that, it's extremely inclusive. You're all there together and you're all, just celebrating each other and celebrating knowledge. And so they have built a platform where you can actually do data analytics on your own wallet. So you can see, and this is in beta right now, but check it out. And so they're going to drop their PFP on the 15th. I mean, you can watch, there's a allow list, you can watch it, you can watch the floor, who knows what's going to happen. But what I would say is check out that platform because it's the whole idea. If you can look at the whole history of what you've invested in NFTs, like a lot of us have spreadsheets or counting on our fingers and toes. This eliminates that. And it also will show, what's the estimated value because it's pulling in data on the floors. It's just really, you get a super nice snapshot of dashboard. So I would say not necessarily go out and buy it. That's, you can decide if that's a product that you would want, but I think it's a really, really, cool product that would be helpful for a lot of newbies coming in so that they don't make the same mistakes that a lot of us did. And also for us that have been around for a little while to take a look at and be like, okay, where am I at? Where am I going and plan around the information that you now have at your fingertips. So anyway, that's my commercial for Nerd Collective. I am not a representative. I'm just super excited about the fact that I saw their tool today and was like, oh yeah, that's slick. So anyway, thank you again. I'll see you guys in Discord. and have a great night.
Thanks very much, Nina. Shaolin, anything you want to say before we sign off?
Yeah, no, I think this is great. I think we should do this again. I love interacting with people who come from different parts of the Web3 space, and it sounds like we're all pretty knowledgeable. So I definitely look forward to next time. But thank you all for your time and appreciate the conversation.
Awesome. Take care.
Very cool. Awesome. See you guys later. And we'll chat again soon. See you. Bye.
Thanks, Gary. Bye.